What's going down, everybody? Welcome back, gentlemen. So it's been a couple days, dude. We've been riding the truck out with the coolant leak, so we're jumping into changing that radiator today. Now, I put a video out at the first of the week. We all seen where it was coming from, and well, pretty much that. So we have a radiator, man. I bought this last weekend. I just hadn't gotten into buying it yet. It is part number 813129. It is a CarQuest Premium. It is a really nice radiator, right? So there's a couple of things you want to know. First, they sell two different size radiators. One's a 24-inch and the other one is a 27.5 or something like that. So what you want to do is you want to measure from right there. Hold on. So right there, see, pretty much 27.5. Now, the other one would be 24 from there to there. And then you want to measure from top to bottom because they have that also, right? So, that's one thing, man. The other thing is that the trans cooler lines do not connect into your radiator, so that's one less thing we have to worry about taking off or adding back or anything of that nature, dude. So that's a bonus. Now, I do have the coolant draining already. You can see it down there running in that pan. That's some nice fresh green in there. And it's gonna be a 13 millimeter. I think there's 3 or 4 bolts. We're gonna disconnect the battery because I have to disconnect my fan here, and that PCM will pick that up. And then I believe the rest of it, guys, is like you push this little clip in right here, your shroud will come out the same there. Take the lower radiator hose off down there, upper radiator hose. I'm gonna try to take the fan shroud and push it back, and then it'll be out of the way. We'll probably pull the radiator. The E-fan might come with it. We'll have to see how that goes. We'll slide that new one in and then we'll get it done, man. So with that, dude, we got to get some things together. We got to get this camera set up. We got to get y'all to where y'all can see what's going on. And then we'll jump right into it. So y'all just sit back and relax, enjoy the content, and here we go with another one. All right, guys, here we go, man. And I think when we get this pulled out, maybe on another video, we're gonna take the end caps off. I wanna see what it looks like inside this thing, because every time I pull that radiator cap, there's some brown stuff around there, and I think there's something clogging this thing up. All right, man, so once you get this bolt out right here, it'll slide out of your radiator, and then this here is just this little push tab, right? So something else you have to know, which this bolt is missing for me, it goes in right here, and then you have a 10 millimeter. Let me see if I can get this camera down in here, guys. So you have a 10 millimeter right here where my finger is on this side for these two lines right here. Now they don't tie in to the radiator, but they are attached to the side of it. So you want to take them off, and then be careful when you're sliding the radiator out not to bend anything or get crazy with it. We're gonna get down here and undo our lower radiator hose down here. We gotta climb underneath. And then we're gonna unbolt it, man. Here, I think there's one a little lower. No, it's just a pin. I think it's here and here. Looks like the same 13 millimeter, and then we're gonna try to slide this bad boy out. So we'll get our 13 mil here. And remember, gentlemen, keep your hardware, man, your rubber bushings, your bolts, all of that. Keep all of that. You're gonna need to transfer all that over to your new radiator. So make sure you keep a hold of that and remember where it goes. All that good stuff, guys. Once you pull your radiator out, you'll have to swap your rubbers out right here. Yeah, I'll show you. You have to pull these rubbers out right here and slide them out and put them in your new radiator. So you want to keep a hold of all of that. Make sure you don't lose any of it. I'm literally just throwing mine down on the ground right by where it goes. Get you a flat blade or a pair of pliers, right? Loosen up your overflow hose right here. Shouldn't have to get it too loose. Just pull that off, get it out of the way. Not a real big deal. I mean, so far all I've had to have is a pair of pliers, a 13 millimeter, and a 10 millimeter to get it going. I mean, the radiator's already coming off the firewall here. That's a good thing. It looks like I have a couple of brackets here I need to attend to, which I'll show y'all all that here in just a second. Let me get this bolt out. Your bolts, right? So if you look right here, this is your trans cooler, or maybe your AC. I'm not really sure. I think this down here is your trans cooler, to be honest with you. But you have a bracket right here. See where my finger's at right there? That looks like probably a 10 or a 12. I might be able to, no, I'm probably gonna have to get that off. And then, well, this is just a little slide tab, but I'll be honest, it looks like it'd be easier just to take the bolts out instead of having to fight it all the way out. I'm not looking at having to unbolt these. So, let me grab my 10. We'll probably just unbolt this right here. Unbolt that right there. That should be that. There's nothing down low. Oh, there is one down low. Down here, which I'll probably have to get a wrench because I don't really plan on taking my grill out. I don't feel like doing that, let's be honest. So I need to run to the back and grab my 10 millimeter wrench for this, and it doesn't look like anything on that side. Well, so that's where we're at right now, gentlemen. So we had to regroup, dude. So these here are 12s. These right here are 12 millimeter bolts. So I had to take my radiator fan unhook it and push it off of the radiator, right? The E fan here, because I don't need it a part of the whole thing. It's too heavy. Now we have to take the brackets off to clear the cooler here with these here, and we still got to pull the rubbers out like these here, so they come out like that, right? And they'll slide into the new one. You just may have to wrench it until you can swivel that bracket out of your way, right? Because once it gets loose enough, you can pull that bracket. I'll show y'all here in just a second. It's gonna take a couple minutes, so just bear with me on the camera. But like I was saying, just don't give up on it, man. Just take your time, bro. Think of all them greenbacks you're saving. All right, let's see what we got, where we're at. So that's still hung up. That is really gonna be in the way, man. There we go. So, oh, you know what? That shroud on the bottom of underneath is attached to the bottom of your radiator. So I need to climb under the truck, take y'all with me, and show you what I'm talking about. You see that there? Right there? That's attached to the bottom of your radiator, right? That helps direct the air through the radiator. It's kind of echoey under here, ain't it? Just pull that down. That one's already loose. Pull that one down. I had to get my screwdriver, my trim tool. We'll pull this one down, and that should free that radiator up. Now, I do believe that everything is disconnected. The E fan, the radiator shroud, everything is pushed back out of the way, and I believe it's go time. So let's see if it'll come out of here. Make sure your fan goes off the side of your radiator. Oh, it almost went all the way down. And then make sure your lines don't hang up, right? You have these cooler lines on this side, if you can, which that's actually gonna be a little difficult with all that stuff in there, guys. We might be able to clear it. We might not. Oh, there we go. Okay. No matter what, gentlemen. Oh, wow, we got another slide bracket down here. Well, I wasn't expecting that. See it down in here, guys? Right here. So that cooler has to slide out of that also. Which, that's actually becoming a little bit of a pain. And well. If you can get your radiator to come over far enough, we're almost there. If you finagle it enough, you'll get it out of there. So I got it out of there, dude. I was sitting there thinking I was gonna have to disconnect that cooler, and that's something I really don't want to do, gentlemen. So make sure it stays up like this, right? And then just go easy, right? Don't get crazy on your cooler lines over here and everything else that could hang up, right? Grab a hold of that, honey. Hold this. And then you also have to watch for your E-fan and your shroud. Uh-oh, my fan got caught back on there. That's what's been holding me up, gentlemen. We're almost there. Look at that. What do we got hung up? Oh, hold on. Hold on, hold on. There we go. And voila. So, it was leaking. From right in here. It was leaking from here is where it was dripping from. So there it is. The thing looks like it's in kind of rough shape. I don't see any markings on it to tell me if it's OEM, if it's ever been changed. It looks kind of bent up on the top. Look, that top core right there is bent. So let's go back here to the back of the truck. And let's do a side by side. So there's the back of it. Looks absolutely identical. Then we'll turn it around like that. And it looks, well, absolutely identical. So one good thing is the new one comes with your bolts here and here, are your nuts, should I say. But you do have to keep your bolts from when you take it out of the truck. So that is a bonus. It comes with the stop, kind of like that one. So yeah, man, give me 1 minute and we're gonna get this thing slid back in there and get it bolted back up. And I was looking at this. Now, like I was stating, this is bent in and that could be an issue because it should be like this all the way across the top. But look at this. You see how thick that is? Now look at this one. Let me do a side by side real quick. So as long as this one fits in there and gives me no issues, I think this will be a better radiator. It's a little thicker, a little more cooling on the system, and I think that's a bonus. Now, if we have any issues, I will let y'all know as we're going through the video. So don't forget to put your rubber tabs in there. All right, so once you get everything slid into place, man, I went ahead and I put my E-fan back in my radiator so I'm not fighting it. It kept trying to fall through the bottom of the truck. So then bolt this up and that'll hold your cooler where it belongs, right? Now, like I stated earlier in the video, this bolt is missing for me. If I can find one, I'll run it in there. If not, it'll be what it'll be. And then also, before you start bolting things up, excuse me, and putting your fan on there, you have to get this lower tab that's down in here back in. So you got to kind of slide your cooler over and your radiator over. It'll slide back in that lower tab, and then set it down in your little pins that I showed you with the rubbers. After that, hang your fan, right? Put this line on there just loose. You ain't got to tighten it until you get all your bracketry back on, because you might need this to move around. And as you always know, as I know, you don't tighten anything down until all of your bolts are in. Now, my allergies are killing me. My nose keeps getting stopped up. So I got to do a couple of things here, and then we will carry on and wrap this video up. All right, guys. So, man, I got to be honest with you, dude. If you took your grill off, you'd be able to get to your clips a little easier on your cooler to your radiator. But like I stated earlier, I didn't really feel like taking my radiator off. And I'm also, I guess, showing y'all that you can do it with your radiator, with your grill back on there. So with your lower clamp here, right, your cooler to radiator clamp, I bolted it to the cooler with the 2 bolts loose so it would move, but it'd also keep it lined up, right? So you don't have to sit here and guess it out. Get it in the hole, and then just move your cooler into line. And then once you get it started like so, I mean, it's just as simple as run it in to where you know it started, right, and it won't come out, and then do your top one. So once you get these on, this is your harder side, your passenger side, your harder side. Just take this and slide it in your tab like so, right? Just like this. Well, take your bolts out first. And then you're just gonna slide that in like so. Don't forget to slide it in, guys, before you get ahead of yourself. And then just run it in there. All of my bracket bolts are still loose. I have to tighten them all up. So just a little recap, you'll get this one in down here when you slide the radiator in. And then you want to work on these 2, get them in. Get your mounting bracket for your cooler lines bolted up loosely, not snug, not tight, loosely. And then this would be your last one, right? Remember your rubber pieces down here at the bottom. Remember your rubber pieces here to slide in your radiator, right? And then at that point, we're gonna tighten all of our 10s up right here. We got 6 of them. And then we're gonna pull this back, bolt it up, get our radiator shroud back hooked up, because it just slides in with 1 bolt right here. It'll slide in and lock in. And man, we'll be ready to put the battery back on here, put some coolant in here, let them good times roll. After you fight your upper radiator hose, which really ain't that bad, get your lower radiator hose on down here, right? Make sure your clamps go right back in the same spot that you took them off from. Check everything. Make sure your fan's snapped in. Don't forget your one fan bolt right here, which is a 13 millimeter also, but you want that in there. And you ain't gotta get crazy, just snug it up. Ratchet on the ground. Don't forget to plug your fan in. Make sure your plug looks good, it's dry. All right, man, so we got it all bolted up, dude. Everything's snug, fans on. We still gotta put the battery back on. But I did go down a while back and buy me a bleeder funnel. So we're getting the air out now, and then I'll fire it up and let it run and do its thing. So, with all that, dude, it's that simple to change your radiator out. You can be careful and do it with your grill in, or if you want to, take your grill out and you can get some bolts a little easier. So, now that all that's done, we went through the process. 2009 Hemi Ram Radiator swap. Keep living the dream, doing your thing. Like and subscribe. Always hit your boy with a comment, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.